French Open has been completed. We have our 2012 champions, and we're going to talk about it here on TYT Sports. On the women's side, Maria Sharapova, to everybody's great delight, defeated Sara Errani of Italy in a pretty easy final. She's got her first French Open, and she has now won the career Grand Slam, all 4 majors. On the men's side, there was a little more drama. The final was Rafa Nadal going for his 7th French Open championship versus Novak Djokovic, world #1, going for his first. On Sunday, in the first 2 sets, Nadal pretty much handled Djokovic to take that 2-set-to-love lead. In the 3rd set, Djokovic finally exhibited that fire, that I refuse to lose attitude that's won him so many championships in the past year or 2, and he took the 3rd set. Then in set number 4, Djokovic got off to a 2-0 start. He had won 8 games in a row from Nadal during very rainy, heavy, wet conditions. Finally, Nadal won a game to make it 2-1 Djokovic in that 4th set when they called the match, suspended it due to rain. There was a little flare-up on the side there where Nadal was complaining to the tournament director guy that the conditions have been bad for an hour. Why are you canceling it now? Why didn't you suspend it an hour ago? Of course, in that hour, Nadal lost 8 games in a row, so he's a little annoyed. Nadal never behaves like this, so you got to give him benefit of the doubt. He's not just being a whiner. And in fact, he's right, because when they resumed this Monday morning, Nadal came right out of the blocks and won. The whole match was that first game. At either deuce or 30-all, there was a fantastic point where Nadal was just playing great defense, and as soon as he could, he turned the point to offense, and then Djokovic hit a ball into the net. Now, during the rain-soaked court of Sunday, Nadal's balls didn't have any action on them. They weren't bouncing, but in the second day, when they resumed play, all of a sudden Nadal's balls were bouncing up, and Djokovic was having a lot harder time returning them, and that's why there was one way over his head. He hit it into the net. Djokovic banged the racket against his head pretty damn hard a couple times. I don't know how he didn't hurt himself. And then in the next point, on break point in that game 4 of the 4th set, Nadal hit a little net, or Djokovic managed to get it, but left the whole court open, and Nadal swept it to break Djokovic and to level that 4th set at 2-2. And from then on, they went back and forth, but Nadal prevailed 7-5 in that 4th set to win the championship. So he was right. His style of play was hampered by those heavy, wet conditions at the end of the Sunday before they suspended play. Nadal has won 7 French Opens, and he's only lost 1 match there in his entire career. A couple other points. For decades, the main announcer on NBC was Dick Enberg, who was terrific. Now they got this guy, Ted Robinson, who's really an annoying dork, and he's always trying to compete in tennis knowledge with John McEnroe and Mary Carrillo, and it's quite annoying. And when you see him on screen, he's got these bug eyes. He's got no business being on television. The other thing that annoyed me about this coverage is they would not stop with this, oh, it's about to be history. We're making history here. If Nadal wins as his 7th French Open, surpasses Bjorn Borg's record, it's history. If Djokovic wins, he'll be the first guy since the 1960s to hold all 4 major titles at the same time. He's making history. They said it over and over, and I really got sick of it. What tennis players do is not making history. They're just playing tennis. If you're talking about a Serb and a Spaniard, history is when the Spanish banks get bailed out to the tune of 100 billion euros and the European economic zone is threatening to collapse. History with a Serb is when you commit genocide against Bosnian Muslims back in the night. That's history. Winning a tennis match is not history. So in conclusion, we had a much anticipated final with Nadal and Djokovic. It was not their best. It was pretty good. It got better toward the end. There were some great points after they resumed play in that 4th set. But in the end, Nadal won as he looked like he was going to do. He's had a great year, especially in this clay court season so far. And he took down Nadal. So we have Maria Sharapova, Rafael Nadal, champions of the French Open in the 2nd tennis major of the year. I'll be here doing tennis updates all summer long on TYT Sports through Wimbledon and the US Open. But you don't have to wait for these videos, because you can follow me at Dave Kohler on Twitter, and make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, because it's great.